Shouts out BigSteve.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of The Big Brain. I'm your host, like usual, BigSteve. Big card, UFC 294. If it's your first time listening, I did have a few new subscribers. Thank you for joining. I'm a full-time gambler from Australia. 6th year doing this, 2nd year doing this full-time. Yeah, going well. Had a bad month in September, and then we're back up to 40,000. So yeah, doing well. Looking to smash these out. Dixon Cider, what up, mate? I think you're one of the new boys. What's up, bro? Who's the guest tonight? No guest, mate. I've gone for a big streak of guests, including Contender Series. It's kind of burning me out. I just like to pump these out a bit. They're taking too much time. I mentioned it on the last podcast. All right. Without taking too long, let's do a quick overview and jump into it. Last week, who do we have? We have a decent card with Melissa Dixon. Was by KO, was one of my favorite bets. That obviously missed. I kept that fight perfectly. I had the under at plus money was pretty popular. I passed. I didn't give the Russian any chance of a finish. So I ended up with almost $5 of Dixon. I thought she would get a ground and pound from Mount. End of the day, she had Mount rounds 2 and 3. Plenty of time to finish. Props to Irina. She was good at bucking and not letting Dixon finish her. So yeah, no regret there. I saved a lot of money not going a full unit on the under. Passed on to Cody. I donated to Alatang. It is what it is. Parlayed Terrence McKinney round 1 with Bagley on Cage Warriors for $700. That was easy money. Call me square, but I hit Elkins round 3 sub. I'm also happy with that. I passed on the under plus money that hit by 10 seconds. I'm happy with my read. I didn't think TJ was going to KO him or sub him. I didn't think Elkins was going to KO him. So pretty much just played a little bit round 2 Elkins and a little bit round 3. $75. Lost $75 on round 2. So made 1,500 there as well. Passes, bunch of passes. I ended up playing $1,000 on Yanez. I really like that. It was a pick'em when I originally did the podcast, and then I did tape. And I just like the way Yanez catches kicks. I thought Martinez was one-dimensional. Body kick from southpaw, straight hand, and Yanez fought a much more difficult opponent in Grant, who hits harder and throws spinning wheel kicks and constantly switches stances. And Yanez did great to roll with the punches, check the kicks, catch him and return. And yeah, I mean, I also thought he was the most had the most finishing upside with the way Martinez hates pressure and he hates boxing and the chin. And yeah, I mean, 2 leg kicks and he messed up his MCL. So what is there to say there? Can't say I regret the play, but it is what it is. Lost $1,000 there. Had Vivian Araujo live after round 2. I passed on the decision. I won like $300 there. And I also had a parlay on Christian Rodriguez to hit 1 takedown, a minus 200 parlay with Edson Barboza Yusuf. 1 knockdown. The takedown obviously hit, and Barboza knockdown hit in the first 10 seconds. And the biggest play on the card was Yusuf and Barboza under 3.5 rounds. I had 1,200 to win half a unit, 770. Obviously, I hit the knockdown for $600, and if I hit that, I would have been $2,000 up. And then, yeah, obviously, after the first 10 seconds in, I had a feeling as soon as Yusuf didn't knock him out, I had this bad feeling like it was going to go over. And I was completely fine. I wasn't tilted. I was happy to break even. And then Barboza had to tickle my balls when he dropped him and went for a stupid submission that he never gets. So yeah, I ended up breaking even, made $2,000 on KSW, lost pretty much all of it on Cage Warriors. So a little bit annoying, put a lot of effort in last week and just broke even. But yeah, them the breaks, that's gambling for you, better than losing money, I guess. So yeah, look at the positives, still up a lot. Let's move on. All right, let's look at the comments. Zen Monkey, always in here, what a legend. Misha the Punk, legend as well from Serbia. Go subscribe to him if you like a really funny video game streaming channel. Every fight could end in sub. What a great card. Akai Field Mountaineer. Yep. Take that with a grain of salt. LP, Big Steve, got kind words, mate. I think you're new in here as well. Thanks for listening. Alrighty, let's get to it, right? Bruno Silva, Sharabutin Magomedov, or let's call him the Bullet, right? Shara. Yeah, a lot of hype on Shara making his debut in Abu Dhabi. I don't think he can get sanctioned in Australia. Good striker, very negative. Fights on the back foot and variety of kicks, switches stances, good counters, etc., etc. Yeah, really low level of competition, but yeah, he had a few high level opponents and he went to a decision with them or finished them late. Really dangerous knees, just a brutal Muay Thai guy. Haven't seen much of his durability. Haven't seen much of his grappling defense. So yeah, and he's fighting Bruno Silva. Not the easiest debut, right? Bruno can kill anyone. He's a wild brawler. He's got a ton of experience. He was on the Russian regional scene, just murdering high-level Russians. He's got crazy power. He's a bit wild, and lately I just feel like his durability has gone a little bit. I played him against Pereira. What is these stupid ads playing? I had to get rid of my ad blocker because YouTube won't let you listen to videos anymore, and there's no way I'm playing for bloody YouTube Premium. Absolute ripoff. Anyway, yeah, Bruno Silva. I played him against Pereira, and I thought that was a great play. It's so shocking to me that Pereira was eating all those bombs from Bruno, and then he just looks extremely chinny against Adesanya in both fights. But anyway, I think that took a lot out of him. After that, the Jared Mearshart fight, he was clearly off. He was sick. And he was hitting some shots against Tavares, and then he got robbed by Allen. He's always had bad defense, but an ungodly chin. I just don't know where his chin's at right now. So this fight, I taped his first, and it felt like a pass all the way around. I didn't want to play minus 200 on someone like Bullet, in a striking fight with Bruno. I wasn't also excited about playing him either with the chin defensive issues. But now that the line is getting out of hand a little bit, I might have to retape and consider Bruno. I know he's going to grapple. He shoots when he shouldn't shoot. I made that in my notes a long time ago. Even when he's grappling, when he's fighting Russian grapplers, he's grappling them. So he's a bit weird like that. So you would hope he would grapple Magomedov. But yeah, the over-under I also couldn't get a read just with how negative Magomedov is. And I don't know. He seems kind of durable, but it's hard to tell. So yeah, pass all around. Yeah, let's move on. Jin Yufrey, Dakota, Victoria Dudakova. Yeah, just really juicy line. Dogger pass. I don't think Dudakova is that great. I wasn't impressed with her before her Contender series. She impressed me a little bit more on Contender just because she had heart and she was a dog. She blew out her knee and just kept going for takedowns. Maria Silva was the toughest opponent to date. She's a black belt, and she does have issues. She's a bit scrappy and has holes, and the striking is awful. But and in that fight, she did get taken down by Maria in round 2, and she can be taken down. But she came back in round 3 and won round 3 clear against Silva, and we didn't really see much from her against Nunes. I contemplated fading her, and I didn't. I just thought it could be a value loser, and I was saved by that meme injury loss. Jin Yufrey on the other side. I mean, she's very close to retiring. She's 38. She can probably get her own takedowns. She's the much cleaner striker here. She can replicate something like the Ashley Yoder fight. Although there's no way I can put my money on her. She loses fights. She gives away fights she's winning. Vanessa Demopoulos, she was winning that. She lost a split. Elise Reed, she should have won that. She was taking Reed down and wrestling her with ease, and she lost that. She just gives it up. She doesn't have any fight in her. She doesn't have any quit. So I can't play her as a dog, knowing that Victoria, even though she's technically worse, she's going to keep fighting for my money. So dog or pass, but I ended up just sprinkling a little bit on Victoria by sub. I don't know why the sub is not favored. I hear some people smash the KO line, which 900 plus 900, fair, whatever, a little sprinkle. But I mean, other than her meme KO over Estela Nunes, which was a shoulder injury, and her doctor stoppage, she has no other KOs, right? She's a decision. She's a submission fighter through and through. She doesn't throw much ground and pound. She sits in half guard. She sits in mount, and she's a good back taker, and she will also drop for arm bars. So I don't know. I mean, submission should be favored. I'm not overly confident. This could look kind of like the Kay Hansen fight or the Ashley Yoder fight, where Victoria is struggling to get takedowns because Frey does have solid takedown defense. But I feel like if she does get a takedown, because she will keep going for him, we've seen in the Kay Hansen fight, the first chance she had in a scramble, she got a triangle armbar, and that was an early tap. She should have never tapped to that. She has no heart. There's plenty of space to get out of that. We've seen Elise Reed show heart when Lupe Godinez had an armbar and she refused to tap. That was a fully locked in armbar. This one wasn't. So I'm just banking on Victoria getting one dominant position in 3 rounds and locking in a sub and Frey early tapping. But she might struggle to get a takedown because she's not physical. So yeah, just a little sprinkle, $300 and something to win 1 unit, 1,500. I thought that was a no-brainer. And if it doesn't lose, I'm not going to lose. If it doesn't hit, I won't lose sleep over it. Alrighty, let's move on. Nathaniel Wood, Mohamed Naimov. I don't know what to say here. I'm actually considering Naimov, but I remember taping him for the Malaki fight. I actually had a big play on Malaki, and I gave it out on Discord at like plus 500, plus 400, and I cashed it out. I cashed it out because I thought it was going to be a value loser, and then I thought it looked like Naimov was going to knock out Malaki. And I lined up a live bet, and as I was calling up, he knocked him out. So that's a little bit salty about that one. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't very impressive on tape. I think his path was very slim against Jamie, and you could see him, he was getting outdogged, he was getting outstruck, he was getting taken down. But that was on short notice. That was up a weight class, and, he still won. He still won against, that was probably his best win, hands down, on his record. He's young, he's improving, he's 29, he's in his prime, he's dropping down to his natural weight class, and I just can't play, even though Wood is super good. He's well-rounded. He's great everywhere. He's beaten high-level opponents. The Naimov, I just can't, back in the day, I used to parlay Wood, when he fought Castaneda 2020, 3 years ago. I used to just parlay stuff and, John Castaneda is a solid fighter. I would never parlay against him now. And, he ended up winning. He ended up shutting him down, calf kicking him and taking him down. He's just well-rounded and he can mix it up and he has good IQ. But he's super hittable, He's super hittable and he gets dropped a lot. I faded him against Feely, and a lot of people were saying, it's going to be a value loser. It's probably going to be 29, 28. And it was, but it was, I just watched it for the first time because I was in Europe when I played it. I never taped it again. And, man, instantly dropped in the first round and badly dropped in the second round. I didn't know if Feely dropped him twice. If Wood doesn't drop him in the first round, it's 29, 28 Feely's way. He gets round 1 and round 2. So, yeah, never in this position, I can't play Wood, even though I think he's very high level. I think Naimov has a chance, just in the striking fight, but he does have other issues with his takedown defense and stuff. Malaki was taking him down, but he showed improvement there. He showed improvement. I like how he was getting up. He fought a really good wrestler in Sadiq Mudayev as well, and he won a split there. Kind of arguable. Did he win it? Did he not? See a lot of people crapping on him for losing to Colin Anglin on Contender Series 3 years ago. He gassed. He's improved. It's a dog or pass for me. I actually consider retaping this one again, going deep and seeing does Naimov have some value. But I might just live bet it. Alrighty, let's move on to the people's main event. So Anshul Jubal versus Mike Breeden. So Jubal, the pride of India. Not many good Indians. Everyone keeps forgetting about my boy that fought Song Yadong in his debut. I think his name was Kumar, and he got a 10-finger guillotine choked by Song. That was one of the first Indians, and no one's talking about him. I wonder, I'm going to look him up one of these days, see where he's at with his career. But yeah, Jubal, won the road to UFC, came in and dominated Jaka Sergey. A lot of people smashing Jubilee. I passed there, and he ended up, covering his line. He was slight dog and slight pick'em, slight favorite. I just didn't like what I saw from him on tape, and I thought Jacko was dangerous enough, so I passed. And props to him. I think he's improving. I watched some interviews. He's drastically improving. He's still at his same gym, but he's done a bit of cross training, and I think he's going to improve a lot. He's got a lot of potential. On the other side, Will Breeden, brought in short notice, and he's lost 3 in a row. But they're giving him Alex Hernandez and McKinney, and I've been shitting on people playing him against McKinney just because I think he has some durability issues. You have to live bet him. And I kind of feel the same way here. I know this is a super, super popular play. I mean, everyone is on Mike Breeden. Um, about one or two people that I consider sharp are not on him, and some, non-sharp people on Jubilee too. So, but I'm going to stick to my gut. My gut was I taped this when Breeden was a much bigger dog. One of the first fights, maybe the second fight, only just to see if I'm going to like some under and overs, or maybe even a Jubilee parlay piece. Although I probably wasn't going to. And I left thinking this is a pass fight. Breeden has good get ups, good cardio. He comes on strong late in round 3, and I haven't really seen anyone dominate him on the ground, right? Which Jubilee wants to do here. He wants to take him down. He wants to mount and dominate him with his jiu-jitsu. I haven't really seen anyone do that to him, right? He fought a very high-level guy in Anthony Romero in Contender Series. He's a good black belt. He's a little bit low output, but he shut him down with a calf kick. And then round 3, Breeden came on strong, hurt him with a big knee. He's got a big jumping knee that he's got a few knockouts with him, and hurt him there. And I mean, if he didn't get shot down with the calf kick, would have been a lot more competitive. Um, yeah, I mean, he fought Natan Levy. Natan Levy took him down a bunch of times, like more than 5 times, and he never really used his black belt jiu-jitsu on him. He couldn't really get the backpack or anything. And I live bet Breeden there. And man, 29-28, but super close fight. I thought he was winning round 2 comfortably until he got hurt to the body with a body kick. Then he was winning round 3 comfortably again, putting on the pressure on a gas Levy, and then Levy hit him with a hook. And Levy doesn't have any power, man. So I've got some questions about Breeden's durability, which is ultimately why I passed. I think at least early Jubilee will have some success. A lot of people are fading Jubilee just because the line is wide, and I agree. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to stick to my initial read and pass, and just look to live bet it. And if Breeden ends up being an amazing public dog, then so be it. But yeah, I think Jubilee, 28 years of age, he's making a lot of improvement. I was impressed with that last fight. Yeah, and Mike Breeden, man, even in his fight against 12-8 Nick Compton, he was almost armbarred in round 1. He was got saved by the bell. So yeah, I think he's live to get finished in round 1, but after that, I'll just live bet it. It could be a similar fight to the Tan Levy fight. Alrighty, what's up, Lou Betcha? The man, the myth, the legend. Oh, just doing a breakdown, mate. What's up with you? All right. Cedric Dumas, Abu Azaita. I'm not going to bring this one up. This is a pass fight all around. What is there to say about it? There's no way I'm playing this line on someone untrustworthy as Dumas flying out to Abu Dhabi. I played him against Cody Brundage, and I wasn't impressed. I actually wasn't impressed by that win. I think he's very lucky that Cody self-capitulated in that fight. Just gave him the fight that he wanted. And even then, just got taken down by Brandon Jeezy, which a lot of people do. I think Abu can take him down while fresh. Yeah, it's just a shit show of a fight. Like, over-unders, he couldn't fight. He couldn't finish Brundage. Brundage couldn't finish him. A lot of people were losing their money playing the juiced unders and the under 1.5 there. And here too, Abu kind of swings hard and he has power, but he has a lot of decision wins. A lot of decision losses. He would have lost the decision to Barrios. He's tough, even though he's gassy. He fights through it. He's 37. He hasn't fought since that fight in 2021. It's like, what do you make of this fight? At least early, I feel like Abu is gonna have value, and then when he gasses, it's this fight is gonna turn into a shit show. He spends a lot of time on the bottom. Even Victor Miranda, who's a Muay Thai fighter, took him down and mounted him, and then he just explodes out of those positions. I don't know if Dumas is physical enough to take him down, but he probably can. I think Azaita can probably take Dumas down. Dumas has been out-grappled on the regionals, and we saw a friend out-grapple him, and just those reversals that I've seen against shows me that he still can be out-grappled. It's a hole in his game. So I don't know, man. I'm just gonna pass. I actually like the over here, just because Abu is durable, and I thought it was gonna be another grapple heavy fight, but I'm just gonna pass. It seems like a shit show. The more I think about it, I think maybe Dumas can land some head kicks, some straight punches, on a washed Azaita, gas him out sooner. I don't know. Pass fight. Javid Basharat, Victor Henry. Yeah, I mean, Henry's a popular dog as well, which I can't blame people. This is I was going to say probably, but I'll say hands down. This is definitely Javid's biggest step up. Victor Henry, um, Javid Basharat. He's very clean. He switches stances, and Victor Henry on the other side is a little bit opposite. He's kind of like Mateus Mondoka. He's more a pressure fighter, volume fighter, but he's not clean. He's in there to be hit. He's there to be taken down, but he kind of uses the chaos and uses the scrambling, the get ups, and the constant volume. And he takes one to give one to kind of gas you out and break you. And that's what he did against Barcelos. In his debut, Barcelos hit him a ton of times. He hit him a ton of times, and I passed on that big dog because you watch Victor Henry's regional tape, and like I said, he's getting taken down, he's getting hit, he's getting dropped, he's getting backpacked, and I'm like, Barcelos is going to have his way with him, and Barcelos did have his way with him, but it's just nothing seemed to be hurting Henry. And then when Henry would throw it back, he kept wobbling and hurting Barcelos, and he looked a bit washed there. I think it was just he outperformed his potential in that debut. We see that from short notice guys all the time. That's why it's dangerous to fade him at juice. And then Rafael Sansao, a lot of people are shitting on him in that fight, but that's the way he fights. Because he's not as technical and clean as Basharat. He was coming in and he was trying to put a copious amount of pressure on Asensao, but Asensao was just countering him, and he took him down and he shut him down. And he 30-27'd him. A washed beyond his prime Asensao at 30-27'd him. That was his first win in ages. And that's the thing. He's too reckless, right? He kept throwing the spinning wheel kicks, and he kept throwing a front kick to the face, which Asensao kept catching and countering and taking him down. So yeah, I think there's a potential for Henry to be a value loser just because he's going to come at Basharat and he's going to do his style again. And even though he's going to have good volume and good get-ups when Basharat takes him down, Basharat does mix in takedowns. I just think the Basharat's going to be the more cleaner guy, and he's going to avoid getting hit, and he's going to avoid takedowns, and he's going to look to counter while Henry's going to be there to be hit, and he's going to be taken down. It could still be a scramble-heavy, crazy fight, which is what Henry thrives in, and could have a ton of value. I mean, there's probably value now. I mean, this line on Basharat, who's a decision machine, who I don't see finishing Henry at all. It's, what is that, $1.20? 70%, 75%, 80%. I mean, it's probably going to look 65% at best. So there's value there. If you feel like playing that, there's value. But I wouldn't mind some of these overs. Like, might as well just play the over. The over 2.5 is it's better than Basharat's. It's juicy, but if you want to put on a parlay or something, yeah, no brainer. I haven't come around to Henry as a dog. I'm still kind of annoyed that I donated to Alatang, but Henry's a lot better. I have to decide myself, do I want to be on this public dog? But yeah, it's easy dog or pass. Alrighty, good news. I finally have a play that I can talk about other than Dudakova sub. Mohamed Yahya, Trevor Peak. This will be a barn burner, like a lot of Trevor Peak's fights. Pardon me, Jesus. Mohamed Yahya making his debut. Never heard of him before till I taped him. UE Warriors champion. I taped this last week. Got ahead, thankfully, when Trevor Peak was 210 plus 110, and I ended up playing him. And I'm very happy with that play. I just chucked the whole unit on him. I didn't think I would regret it, and I don't. Basically, Yahya is going to be the more technical fighter. He's a kickboxer that mixes in, takedowns occasionally, but what it comes down to, so he will be more technical, like a lot of people are against Peak. But what it comes down to, I just don't think he has the dog in him. He's, I went deep into his career this week after I looked into my play to see if I was going to hedge it off a little bit. And yeah, the guy's super chinny. He's been knocked out once, but he's been dropped a lot. And in a lot of these fights where he's lost to Gavin Hughes, Dan Collins, not the best fighters. Dan Collins dropped him a bunch of times. Suwali Tahiri, 5-3, that he recently beat, also dropped him. Yeah, really low level of position, mostly a decision machine. He gets dropped a lot. He gets clubbed and subbed. He's not physical. He's just going to look to dance on the outside, play the technical fight against Peak. He's probably going to hit him with jabs. He's probably going to hit him with 1-2s. He's probably going to take Peak down because everyone can. But in the grand scheme of things, once Peak lands once or twice, he's going to drop him. Um, Even if there's adversity, even in rounds 2 and 3, if Peak is gassed, he's still going to keep pressuring Yaha, and I think Yaha is just going to fold at some point. Either get finished, or he's going to lose a competitive decision where Yaha's been dropped multiple times and gassed. And yeah, like I said, doesn't have the dog in him. It's a step up for Yaha. It's a step down for Peak from Chepe Mariscal. You could even Ghost Pep Eric Gonzalez, and even Malik Lewis, man. Malik Lewis from the Contender Series that lost twice now would probably spark Muhammad Yahya. No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. So yeah, not too much to talk about. I kept Peak as a slight favorite. I got him as a slight dog. So a ton of CLV. Do I regret putting a little bit more than a unit on him? Probably not. I mean, his Peak's flying to Abu Dhabi. Yaha's from Abu Dhabi. There could be some tomfoolery. Peak could gas more than usual because he's from first time out of America. But yeah, ultimately, I think Peak's slight favorite is the play. I wouldn't be playing this massive. It's trending towards minus 200 for Peak. I think that's kind of trying to squeeze out a bit of profit when, kind of risking it. But I think Peak does have high favorite upside here. Over unders, I wouldn't touch anything. It could be early, it could be late. Yaha gets dropped a lot, but he survives. And Peak is kind of like attritional guy. He drops you and then he just pounds you out and breaks you. So yeah, pass all around. You know what's a sneaky little one is Peak by submission. Don't ask me to explain it. I've seen him go for subs. He doesn't have any subs. I've seen him go for subs on his regionals, and I always feel like at one point a lot of people are going to get burned that are playing PKO when he hits a sub. So yeah, that could be sneaky. All right, let's move on. Tim Elliott, Mohamed Makhachev. I just realized that I was halfway through taping this fight. But good fight. Good step up for Makhachev. Pardon me. Damn, my pronunciation's off the charts today. Good step up. Tim Elliott's going to give him a good fight. It's to see where he really ranks in the ranking. Going from Gordon and Charles Johnson, who's just a great matchup for him. Can't stop a takedown to save his life. And Jafel Fila was a step down, and there's a lot of adversity there, and he came through. Yeah, ultimately, I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel. I taped Elliott's last two, and he's going to hit takedowns. He can be taken down himself. And I only taped the Malcolm Gordon fight on Makhachev, and that's where I'm at. I really want to refresh with the Joao Filo fight. I do remember the whole knee bar thing and coming back and rear naked choking him right after that in round 3. But yeah, I might things that I'm considering without finishing tape. Makhachev sub, Makhachev round 3 sub. Elliott loves it. I don't know if I'll be on the dog. I have to finish. I have to finish tape. I don't want to give you anything, but yeah, ultimately, Tim Elliott usually loses round 3. Do you think he'll get subbed in round 3? Yeah, it's up for debate. But I'm gonna move on. I don't know. I don't know if there's any value. I mean, surely there's got to be some value. Tim Elliott's he's gonna fight for your money, man. There's the stuff in the Malcolm Gordon fight where Malcolm Gordon got his back and he falls off the arm bars and how he allowed Filio to get that knee bar and yeah. I mean, there's got to be some value in Elliott, but I haven't decided if I'll play it or not. I'll get back to you after tape, everyone. All right. We've got some new comments or what? Victor De Jesus. What's up, gentlemen? Hello, sir. Blunt Force MMA. Peak via standing hammer fist KO. Can't go wrong. I played him in his debut and loved when he landed that X of Doom on Ghost Pepper. Miley Spenceley. That's a beautiful name, mate. Yeah, I like this play. Would consider KO prop. I don't know about KO prop on Peak because it was close to his money line, but at this point, money line is like minus 200. So slight plus money on Peak KO. Sure, why not? I can't fault it. Alrighty. High level fight. Said Nurmagomedov versus Muin Gafurov. So a lot of people crapping on my boy Muin Gafurov. They're laying the juice on Said and some sharp people too that don't usually lay juice that I know. that I respect. They're laying juice on Saeed, and they expect him to cover minus 200. They think he's 75%. And I don't get it. I don't get it. I think there's a common misconception about Muin being bad because he lost to Chad Ellinger. And I've talked about this on the podcast before. He took that fight on like 7 days' notice. He had COVID. He barely trained. Then he flew to America. Completely cardio died. He lost a split. He got dropped end of round 1 that he was dominating. And, he dominated round 2 and he lost the close round 3 when he was completely dead. But yeah, after that, he became the LFA champ. He knocked out Herbert Souza with an overhand right. He knocked out Diego Silva with a spinning back fist in round 3, spinning back kick, to the liver. Both those guys are better than Chad. So in my mind, he's proven himself. He's already fought, Leonardo Issa on ONE FC, Reese McLaren, Kevin Bellinger, when he was like 23 years old, and he's fighting the best of the best ONE FC guys. These guys are still fighting in one championship, and they were ranked at the time. And then he fights John Lineker, and he puts on a good performance as a kid against John Lineker as a 24-year-old, and he loses round 1, and he just grapple fucks Lineker in round 2 and loses round 3. There's no shame in that. And that was Lineker in his prime, 4 years ago, knocking fools out. So yeah, I mean, he took the short notice fight against John Castaneda in his debut, and I was really close to playing him there. I wanted to play him. I know Castaneda's great, but he has no head movement, and I know he's super durable, but I was like, Gaffaro can land. He can take him down at decent dog money. I wonder how much, I forgot. It was near even. He was slight dog money. But, some people were having Gafarov as a slight favorite. I thought, he stays ready. I know people are fading the gas tank, but he looked in great shape in both his LFA fights. He looked a lot more ripped and shredded. And I thought he can keep it competitive. And if he looks slight favorite and wins, 29-28, my job is done. And I ultimately ended up passing and live betting Castaneda, but I was sweating. I live bet Castaneda after round 1. Gaffaro was winning round 1. He got dropped at the end with a head kick. That seems to be the theme for him. And then he was dominating round 2. Castaneda ate so many overhand rights, and I was sweating. I was sweating my Castaneda live bet. And then he headbutted and lost the point. And then he was also doing well in round 3 until Castaneda grappled him and just kind of consolidated some top time to win a clear 2-1 plus the point deduction. But I don't think he's a bad fighter, man. I think he's young. He's 27. He's got big power. And yeah, I think he can match Saeed Nurmagomedov. Saeed is he's a lot more dynamic. He's, a lot cleaner, a lot more technical with his strikes, and he can switch stances, and he's got a lot more variety. But they both have a spinning back kick that's strong and explosive. Saeed, though, his spinning back kick gets him in trouble a lot. And, he's also gassy. I live bet Martinez over him in that last fight. After round 1, I could see that he blew his wad in round 1, and this was going to be a competitive fight. That should have never been competitive with Martinez. Someone as one-dimensional as Martinez. He really should have stayed on the outside and outstruck him, but he's too wild. He's too wild, too many spins. He's getting mauled by Saeed. He loses round 3, pretty high clip. He's got a good ninja choke. So yeah, I think this is competitive, man. I think, how does Saeed cover minus 200 when, Gaffaro can crack? He's never been finished yet. He's been dropped a few times. I see a lot of people saying that potentially Gafarov is going to dive into a guillotine choke. And I'll be honest, on tape, I saw the same thing. Just because he's so aggressive with his takedowns, it doesn't set him up. And even when he needs a finish, he keeps shooting for takedowns. And Saeed, I mean, we've seen Saeed can get anyone with a ninja choke. He's high level at it. But I don't know, Chad Ellingham has a really good guillotine. And Gafarov defended it with ease, even when gassed. And what's his name? John Lineker dived for a locked-in guillotine in rounds 2. And straight away, Gafarov dived to the right side, to the opposite side to get out of it 4 years ago. He was obviously confident giving his neck. He knows how to defend it. But yeah, ultimately, it's a dog or pass for me. I don't understand people. I mean, I do understand them, they're fading Gafarov. He cops a lot of flack, Gafarov. But to me, it's easy dog or pass. I don't see how Saeed is going to cover this minus 200 unless he finishes. This is the first time out of the Contender Series fights and his UFC debut that Gafarov wasn't on short notice. So take that with a grain of salt. It's a dog or pass for me. I just haven't played him just because of how aggressive he is and just wings too much and shoots blindly too much. Saeed's going to be the cleaner fighter, although look at that Douglas De Andrade fight. A lot of people were playing De Andrade. He was slightly more of a dog, but Andrade has no volume. He was just staring at him the whole time. And the few times he threw something, Said was hit on the head, dropped, he slipped. Lost round 3. He stayed on his back for a bit. So he's just a flaky guy, man. Dog a pass. I've talked too much. No play. All right. Ikram Mariscalco versus Wally Alves. Yeah, tough task. Tough task for Wally here. Short notice. Upper weight class at middleweight as well. Kind of opened my eyes. Wally getting finished a lot, taping him again. I don't remember. I always used to think he was durable, but getting knocked out by Kraus, getting knocked out by that's Jeremiah Wells is nothing. He hits like a truck. Yeah. And Ikram, I always thought Ikram wasn't that great. There's a bunch of these Russian dudes that don't look great, but then around the 30 years of age, and when they get to the UFC, they kind of improve their game. His fight against Nonchon Burrell wasn't impressive, and obviously his split decision with Chad Hanekom that everyone's going to mention, that was in 2019. But I just think he's improving. He's looking a bit more explosive. He's looking like he's coming into his own. So yeah, 30 years of age. I think this is his fight to lose. I would just keep in the back of your head. Last time Alves was a massive underdog, and they brought him in to a local guy to Abu Dhabi against Munir Aziz. He came out super aggressive and just ran through him. So I have this feeling like he knows. He was very patient in a few fights before that because he's got bad cardio. I have a feeling like he knew in that fight, I need to finish Munir Aziz in the first round, and that was his game plan. Just came in with 3 body kicks in a row. Surely he thinks that here. I'm up at middleweight. I'm flying to Abu Dhabi. My cardio is not going to be good to beat Ikram on 3 rounds. So there's a chance he comes out, balls to the wall. I would definitely not parlay Ikram. Dude's been knocked out with 1 punch before against Kamzat. It's possible. We've seen it. But yeah, I was considering this under. I'm still considering this under 1.5. Alves, that's his path in the under 1.5. And Ikram, last 2-3 fights under 1.5. And even though usually he's a decision machine. So it's possible. I'm considering it. It's just $1.60. That much of a favorite line. Am I getting any value? Maybe. If Alves comes out like a maniac, then yeah, we're going to have plenty of value. I think he can get knocked out. I think he can get subbed. I think he can guillotine Ikram. I think he can knock out Ikram. So yeah, the under 1.5 is the only thing I'm considering here. Vitor de Jesus, I have a half unit on Aliskarov to win round 2 at 450. I can't fault that. I see a lot of people playing Ikram 2-3. That's the popular play. But I think Alves is live to get finished in round 1, man. I know it hasn't happened often. He's got a lot of round 2s. I get it. But yeah, if he comes out super strong, who knows? Alrighty. Magomed Ankalaev, Johnny Walker. I have no interest in this fight. I thought I would be fading Ankalaev, and if anything, I'm still considering this fight a dog or pass. I just don't trust the dude. He is good. He's got good striking. He's got good wrestling. I just think deep down inside, Ankalaev is a bit of a pussy, and that's why he fights like the way he fights. He's too technical, too patient. I looked at the under. The under was tempting at plus money. It's come in a little bit. Johnny Walker under and Ankalaev unders. But, I can't play that under, even though it's plus money. I think it's bait by the bookies. Watching that fight against Anthony Smith, Johnny Walker's allergic to finishes now. The dude's allergic. Yeah. He's just not interested in finishing. It took him 2 minutes, 16 seconds to finish Paul Craig, which is not bad. I had the under 1.5 there at not that much of juice. It was pretty decent, actually. I don't know why it was so generous. But essentially, the first thing he threw, he knocked out Craig. But he didn't throw anything for 2.5 minutes. That's the issue. The dude will not throw. And, big step up here against Ankalaev. Ankalaev's durable, even though he's been hurt a lot. If he gets hurt, I can see Ankalaev taking him down, burning the clock. Walker's not really dangerous off his back. He will stay on his back for a bit and then eventually look to get up. If Ankalaev drops him, Walker maybe just stays on his back. But what I will say, Ankalaev does have brutal ground and pound, and he does have a good head kick. Yeah, none of these guys are going to fight for my under. So pass all the way around. I'm actually considering they're over at juice. I'm completely changed. I'm playing overs now, and I'm hitting them. So maybe I play this over. We'll see. But it's going to be a sweat and a half. It's going to be a sweat and a half. But yeah, pass fight. Hate it. Alrighty, Kamaru Usman versus Khamzat Chimaev. I love this fight. I love this fight because I get to see Chimaev fight, and thank God that he's still on this card. He's a high-level dude. There's a lot of hype behind him, and yeah, he's fighting Kamaru Usman. You know, say what you will, it's short notice, but it's a high-level fight, man. It's a ex-welterweight champion moving up to middleweight. It's probably going to perform better at middleweight. He's huge, cuts a lot of weight. Yeah, just excited. Whatever happens, I'm just excited to watch, and don't have to have another pull out for Khamzat. This is, the people's main event, no doubt about it. Everyone is talking about it. Khamzat's in everyone's parlays. The other side, they're saying Usman's the best dog on the card. I've left with no strong read. The best guy Usman is for is Burns. I don't crap on him like a lot of people do. He came in there for like an absolute idiot. He didn't use his wrestling much because he was scared of Burns' jiu-jitsu. He said that after round one. He still took Burns down. He struggled a bit, but he still took Burns down, which is impressive because Burns is a very good wrestler, offensive and defensive. And then he didn't like the armbar attempt. He said, I'm going to strike. No, he not only struck with Burns, he brawled with him in round two. Almost got knocked out twice. And he showed me that he has an iron chin. He came out in round three, and he just almost knocked out Burns again with straight punches. So he's very good. He's a very good striker. He's a very good grappler. He's a savage. He's got good submission offense. He's got cardio. He's got an iron chin. I just think it's a tough task for Usman. Even though this is a step up for Khamzat, Usman really bullies people. I've seen a lot of issues with his game. He's getting hurt by literally everyone. He's getting hurt by Kobe in both the fights. He's getting hurt by Burns. He's getting hurt by Leon Edwards in the first and the second fight. In the first fight, he got cracked a few times. Pretty much every time he gets cracked, he wobbles. He's very stiff. He's got no defense, and he's been getting away with it up until he finally got hectic KO'd by Leon Edwards. It was bound to happen, and now he has to fight Chimaev, who hits like a truck, and it's up at middleweight. And yeah, I lean Chimaev. I lean Chimaev because I don't think Usman is going to bully someone like Chimaev. He had good matchups against Leon Edwards. Say what you will about Leon Edwards. He's a very good fighter. He's very well-rounded in all aspects of the game, but he can be bullied. He's always backing up. He's very negative. He's always looking to counter-strike. And, that was a perfect fight for Usman. And his last fight, he just held him against the cage. He couldn't finish the takedowns, and he just got outstruck on the feet. So I think, what's he going to do here? He's going to strike with Khamzat. He's probably going to get lit up. He tries to take Khamzat down. It's probably going to be a lot of cage push. Yeah. Ultimately, I think it's a tough fight. Is there any value? Probably not at this line. $1.30. But I'll still rather play Khamzat as the favorite. Maybe live bet Usman to see if Chimaev's in there fighting like an idiot like he did against Burns. But even then, yeah, it's tough. All right. I know someone that's on the overs. I know some others playing the Chimaev inside the distance. I think the whole knee thing is smelling fishy to me. Yeah, very fishy, very fishy. If people know me, I'll look into these fights. I think a few fights have been fixed, Gunn, Jones, etc., etc. And this fight, I actually think the Chimaev Diaz thing was set up as well. Him missing weight by 8 pounds, so he can go up against Holland, who was also 8 pounds over at catchweight, convenient. Yeah, I think the whole knee thing and being very obvious, and Usman coming out and making a really, really dodgy video saying, "Oh, how can you guys say it was fake? It was clear. You could hear everything." It's just everything smells fishy. I'm just trying to figure out what the end game is here. What's the end game? I'm leaning towards obviously they want Chimaev to finish him, and maybe that's what's going on here. I don't think there's any point back in Usman at this age after 2 losing streak. All right, let's move on. Talk too much about that. Main event. You know what? It's hard not to get excited about the main event. Even though it's short notice for Volk, the guy's a beast. He's going to give it his best. He's one of those guys that's going to have good cardio even on short notice. He's he's blessed with good genetics and good cardio. And yeah, these guys don't get unfit. They don't get out of shape. I do. I miss one training. I'm unfit. These, he's like a Diaz. He's like a Diego Sanchez. Naturally gifted genetics for cardio. Ultimately, this rematch, I just taped the fight right before the podcast, and man, he was so competitive. Volkanovski, yes, Islam won clean, but Volkanovski pretty much had a moment in all 5 rounds. He stunned him in round 1, and then Islam stunned him back and stole it. He stunned him in round 2. Islam stunned him back and stole it. In round 3, I'm pretty sure he had like a takedown where Volk clipped him, but he dropped weird. I can't remember if round 4 he had anything. I know he was backpack there, but round 5 he dropped him bad, and that's the thing. Like Volk is always going to be more comfortable on the feet. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to lay the juice on Makhachev. I don't want to underestimate. I don't want to fall too much into the narrative of Abu Dhabi short notice and all right, that's going to be a smash spot, because both these guys have had the first fight, and now Volkanovski knows everything about Makhachev. So it's not like he's at such a massive disadvantage because it's on short notice. He has advantages too. He's seen this matchup before. He's lost the fight by 1 round. He can go back, make adjustments, and just fix those things. And every time he hurt Makhachev, he was way too aggressive and he got hurt back. And I saw in an interview, he said he's not going to show too much respect to Makhachev. He can't. But I don't think he showed too much respect at all. That's why he kept getting clipped. Volkanovski was way too wild in that fight, which I haven't seen from him. He's very patient. But after that against Yair Rodriguez, he got cracked a few times too. So I think that's his style. He's confident in his chin. He's cocky, as he should be. So I don't know what to make of this fight. I mean, the thing that made me a bit sus about Usman and the whole knee thing is seeing Gianni the Greek on the Islam versus Chimaev parlay. That's the Twitter parlay of the week right there. And seeing Gianni on it, it's like, man, everyone is on this parlay. And I was just about to lock it in myself and not overthink things. And it's like, I don't know. Is this where the public loses all their money? Is this another Grant Dawson, Bobby Green situation? I don't know. Probably not. I'm probably overthinking it. Usually these pay-per-views, you can just parlay these favorites and you're good to go. But yeah, I don't know. Struggling to get a read. I like this. The only read I have is it could be competitive, but I don't know. There's too much narrative going on. It's clouding my judgment. But yeah, Walk is not a pushover. The only thing I'm kind of liking here is I'm going to look at some over-unders. Not over-unders. The overs are juiced. Last time I smashed the overs, it was easy money. Islam submission or points, $1.65. Yeah, I got burned against Bobby Green there. Islam 4-5 a decision, plus 120. Plus money. Hope for the best. Put $500 on it, third of a unit. Yeah, those are the things that I'm looking at. I'm waiting for Bet365 to open up the takedown props. I mean, C-Rod against Cameron Simon, minus 200. Smash spot. Hopefully for something like that. We'll see. Maybe they have over 2 takedowns or something like that. Actually, they're opened up now. Here we go. Let's have a look live on air, shall we? Total takedowns. Ooh. Over 3.5, $1.60. Goddamn. How many takedowns happened last time? I think maybe 3 or 4. Islam Makhachev, UFC, fight stats. Let's have a look. Let's find the play live on air, shall we? He hit 4 against Volkanovski in a 5-rounder last time. That's rubbish. And they essentially they're giving you 4 takedowns at juiced odds, $1.60. They've lined it accurately. I'll give him that. Most strikes in round 1, Makhachev, $1.83. It's basically a pick 'em who's going to land more strikes in round 1. Total takedowns, fighter takedowns. Islam Makhachev, 2 or more takedowns, $1.30. That's rubbish. And maybe you play under 4 or more takedowns. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's rubbish. It's rubbish. They're on it. Bet365 is on it. Yeah. What is it to say? Those are the things that I was looking at. You know, if I had a better book, maybe I could have parlayed one takedown for Makhachev. These are all the things I hit. You know, these cards, when there's not much value at all, I just try and find, cheeky ways to make money. I don't give a shit. Last week, one knockdown for Barboza Yusuf, literally hitting 10 seconds, minus 200 was astronomical value. And even if that didn't happen, there was another knockdown in round 3. So, yeah, that's it. That's all I got. What can I say? It's a high level card in terms of watching, but betting wise, it's one of my least favorite. But let's go over it. Luckily, I locked something in last week. Bruno Silva, dog or pass at this line. I might look into it, might play him. Jinu Frey, Dudakova. I have some Dudakova sub. I think that's the best play. Even inside the distance, if you don't want to, I'm going to hate myself if Dudakova wins by KO, but it is what it is. I'm also going to be happy if he goes to decision and I didn't waste the unit on the under. Wood versus Naimov, dog or pass. Jubilee versus Breeden. I originally said I'm going to lie bet Breeden, so I'm going to stick to that, especially with the line coming in. Dumas Zaita, massive pass. Henry Bashara, dog or pass. I have a 1 unit play on peak as a slight dog. I'm leaving that, happy with that. That's my favorite bet, but hard to give it out when you can't play it anymore. Elliot Makhachev, pass. I have to look into it some more. Saeed Ghafarov, dog or pass. Wally Alves, Aliskarov. Considering this under, there's going to be ways to play this fight. There's some finished props have to be played here. Johnny Walker and Kalaev, dog or pass. Chimaev, favorite or pass. Volkanovski, I guess favorite or pass. I don't know. It's tough. That's it. Thanks for listening. What do we got here? Got some comments from the boys. King Daniels, love the breakdown. Thank you, sir. Blunt Force also likes the over 1.5 in the Walker fight. Kamzat going to bully welterweight Usman and middleweight. I don't know. It would be really hard to bully Usman. Usman was modeling on the runway just a few weeks ago. Yeah, he was. Usman, clear as day, said something popped. It did. Which I'm inclined to believe that something did pop. But his video was so obviously lying. Like it feels like maybe he's trying to throw the public off. But that's Usman. He's very cringe. He's a very bad liar. So who knows? Why isn't this line wider given the worst circumstances? Because we all saw that fight and it's competitive and people know not to underestimate Walk again. Islam over 1.5 for minus 150 in parlays. If parlay makes it to the end, hedge. What's this Islam over 1.5? Is that like a same game parlay? Islam in over 1.5 rounds? Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, it boosted up a little bit. Yeah, I might hit that, Makhachev round 4-5 decision. I like the under 4.5 rounds in the main event. I'd pick him. Who do you think finishes? Makhachev? Who knows? Thanks for the great breakdown. I missed the first half. I watched the replay. Thank you, mate. I think you're the new guy. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for listening. Hit that like. Thank you, sir. Like and subscribe, guys. It was a bit longer than I wanted to do it. Can't help it. But yeah. Best bets. Dudakova. I can't give you peak. That's about it. I'm not going to force anything. But yeah. Thank you very much for listening and good luck on your bets.